My whole goal in explaining this to you right now is just demystifying the idea of urges being sexual. Because again, one way that I see so many guys going stuck is just feeling hopeless, victim, and powerless to their urges. Hopeless, victim, and powerless to their urges. And I don't want you to feel that way. I don't want you to think that way. I don't want you to feel like there's nothing that you can do. So when you have that energy in you, it needs to be released. Now, depending on what it is, this is where you got to really learn to understand and know yourself and what's going on inside of you. Because if you have an urge, an energy that's pent up, and you feel frustrated and angry and you want to be understood, right?
You like this, you like being daddy's arms with microphones. You like being a worker. You're made for the camera. Both my boys are.
Hey, this video you are about to watch is a part of a series where I show you how to quit porn the right way. So do yourself a favor, binge on all of this content, all the videos that you possibly can, because who knows, maybe if the value and the trust is built together over this journey, you'll want to jump into a community that I call Fit for Family. Or maybe you think these videos suck, and that's also fair too. But nonetheless, there's only one way for us to find out. So enough of me, let's get back to serving you and let's get back to the video. All right, now that we're understanding the difference between like temptation and urges, I felt like it'd be important to make a quick episode or video on understanding what an urge actually is. Because there's a lot of people that say, oh, I just have a really strong sexual urge, or I just have a really strong sex drive. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but a bunch of which we can absolutely change so you don't feel like you're just stuck waiting to hopefully get married one day or have a wife who just wants to have sex with you, you know, like every hour. So this is going to be really, really helpful for you to feel a lot more relieved, a lot more relaxed, and understanding what an urge really is. So an urge is actually non-sexual. If you're like, I have an urge to go to porn, and I have an urge to want to, you know, be with this girl or want to have sex or something, urges are actually neutral. Urges are simply just energy. It's pent up energy. It's a guttural sense of, I need to move my body and get something out of me that feels trapped and feels stuck. It could feel like anger, frustration, disappointment. It could be excitement. It could be passion. But it's only sexual energy when we make it that way. It's only a sexual urge when we channel it in that direction. So the truth is that if you say that you have an urge to go to porn, you have an urge to masturbate, you have an urge to want to look at whatever online, that is just an urge, naturally speaking. And it's up to us how we choose to channel it. You don't have to use an urge to meet a sexual, you know, way or direction. You can actually have an urge, and even if you're experiencing it and you're saying, okay, what's going on? I want to go have sex right now, or I want to watch porn right now, or I want to masturbate right now. You don't have to meet it in a sexual way at all. All you need to do is have the urge be released from your body. So I want you to think of it this way. There's a lot of endorphins, of serotonin, of oxytocin, of dopamine that's released in your body when you release sperm, when you ejaculate and masturbate. And when that happens, you're actually releasing a bunch of energy, which is why people have famously said about guys that, you know, after masturbating or watching porn or having sex, they feel really tired. And that's a huge reason why so many guys experience just a sense of lethargy. They're super lethargic, they're very tired, they have no energy, is because when you release sperm out of your body constantly like that, whether, you know, depending on how addicted you are, whether it's multiple times a day, one time a day, even, is releasing so much energy that you had that you're flooded with all these hormones that then make you want to just relax. And it's super intentional by God, because when you do it in the context of marriage, you know, women get filled with all these hormones that make you want to cuddle, that make you want to touch, that make you want to connect and be held. And men are filled with all these hormones of just wanting to just completely stop. I'm done. Everything, like, don't touch me. I don't want to work. I want to go away. And it's designed by God so that you could continue wiring intimacy with your spouse, with your lover, when you're together afterwards. Now, for us guys, when we have these urges and we don't know how to meet them, because by the way, you might think, just to break the bad news for someone who thought this, and I'm sure there's so many married guys, actually more married men that I've worked with than not, but it's always funny for me with the dudes who are single and, you know, aren't having sex at all, that they're just thinking that when they're married, a lot of this is going to be taken care of. And the truth is that you need to learn how to manage your sexuality, even and especially even more so inside of marriage. The amount of times, I'm going to tell you, I've probably been rejected from my wife having sex with her more times than we've had sex. And we've had sex a lot in the past few years. And my point is that there's so many times where she's just not in the mood. I mean, we've had 3 kids now. So you got pregnancy, you got hormones, right? Women have their periods, then you have postpartum care, and you have all these different bodily changes. And then there's just being tired, then all that sort of stuff. And then, of course, just what my wife wants, all of her own needs that she wants to meet and how she wants to live her life, it doesn't all revolve around how many times Matt wants to have sex. So I need to know, as a married man, how to govern my sexuality in a powerful way, in a healthful way, in a healthy way, so that it brings more connection to me and my wife. So if I ever have an urge and I'm like, I want to have sex with you, what really that means is that I have pent up energy from a sense of my body and my brain and my mind that the Lord designed, that God designed. I don't want you to disconnect from God in this. Sometimes when we're talking about more of the natural elements, we feel like God's not in it, but he made us. So just remember, God designed our bodies in such a way that when we have an urge, it would tell us that there is a disconnect. That like, hey, there's something not fulfilled in your life right now that you need to address. And again, it could be emotions, it could be triggers. For most people at the start of this, it's going to be pains, wounds, traumas, triggers, problems, because that's what we're used to burying. It also can be a sense of advancement, of accomplishment, of wanting to move forward, of wanting to feel productive, of wanting to feel significant, a lot of different things like that. And so when my wife rejects me, she doesn't reject me, she's just saying she doesn't want to have sex right then, and that's totally fair, and I could probably do a better job, but then pursuing her and warm the pot, you see what I'm saying? Slow cook that meal, baby, in order to make that happen. And so when it comes to that point of having an urge, I have to learn how to meet that need, but you won't know how to meet it unless you identify what it really is. So my whole goal in explaining this to you right now is just demystifying the idea of urges being sexual. Because again, one way that I see so many guys going stuck is just feeling hopeless, victim, and powerless to their urges. Hopeless, victim, and powerless to their urges. And I don't want you to feel that way. I don't want you to think that way. I don't want you to feel like there's nothing that you can do. So when you have that energy in you, it needs to be released. Now, depending on what it is, this is where you got to really learn to understand and know yourself and what's going on inside of you. Because if you have an urge, energy that's pent up, and you feel frustrated and angry and you want to be understood, right? And you go to the Bible, that's probably not going to be releasing that energy as well as you would like. Or if you're like, I'm going to listen to a worship song, you're still filled with all of this energy that's pent up. Maybe you need to go on a run. Maybe you need to go do a workout. Maybe you need to journal. Maybe you need to do something to expel, not maybe, you absolutely need to do something to expel that energy, but there can be hundreds or thousands of different ways of expelling the energy. And where I see guys go wrong is that they're trying to expel it in a way that doesn't really seem helpful. And so that's why guys will say, well, Matt, like I'm running, I'm working out, I'm doing all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, but you're in a lot of pain right now, dude. I said, you're actually going through abandonment wounds and trauma from that in your life that you've never dealt with. So pumping iron and getting big like Arnold is going to do great to your body, but it's going to destroy your soul. You're neglecting yourself right here. You're avoiding and you're running away. Let's take a look at that and what's really going on deeper beneath the surface. Because again, God created our bodies and our minds and our spirits so that we would want to be connected, so that we would want to know what's going on inside of ourselves. So hopefully this can help you demystify and take away the idea of it being just a sexual urge, and that it's just an urge, and that it's pent up energy, and that it's usually emotion. Emotion is everything, because there's thoughts that are correlated to it, there's belief systems that are correlated to it, and then there's also our natural bodily urge of wanting to get energy out, but it doesn't have to be through sex. And so this right now is a skill that we need to learn to master. And if we can learn to master and start to actually overcome and fulfill and learn these urges, this is how people build amazing, incredible, beautiful lives. This is the reason why so many people have built empires, kingdoms for themselves, or whatever you want to call it, because in the psychology space, they would call this term sexual transmutation, where you basically transfer that energy that you want to channel sexually and you transmute it into something that's more constructive, helpful, and beneficial for your life. And that right there is a really, really, really big thing. But again, if you are going to porn because you don't feel like you're enough, and this is where I think that the psychology space is very limited and missing the heart of God for it, is that if you say, hey, I want to go to porn because I feel like I'm not enough, I feel like nobody wants me and no one likes me, and if I go to porn, I'm going to be liked. And then according to psychology, you just have to sexually transmute it, and you're like, well, no, go build a business. Okay, so then you go and build a business. Let's just say you make an 8-figure company, and you did it because at the heart of it, you felt like you weren't enough, and you felt like if you made all that money, then you would be seen, you would be wanted, and you still feel super, super lonely, which is why people can climb, the ladder of success and still feel like trash afterwards, is because they didn't address all the hidden things beyond. So although I'm telling you this is a massive tool, it's going to be a huge game changer when you've been used to likely doing nothing to combat this in a constructive and helpful way, by no means is it the end all be all. That's where I've seen the danger for a lot of coaches or people in this, porn recovery space helping dudes, is they think it's the absolute pinnacle. I've actually seen people, just for a reference on how powerful this is, I've been in programs because I want to get educated, I want to grow, I don't think I know it all, I have a lot to learn, and I've seen people build their entire coaching program, model, recovery, whatever, ministry business for helping guys quit porn on this one thing alone, sexual transmutation, being able to channel the urge in a different way, and they've built an entire career out of it. But I do believe that they're missing the heart of God, because he doesn't just want a human doing. He wants a human being where the heart really matters, the trauma or traumatic experiences, the stuck emotional blocks that you have really, really matter, and how you go about doing the things really matter too. But to the fair point here, it's really important for you to start developing the skill of mastering those urges. And so I don't ever try to run away from them. I try to master them. I don't want you to quit porn. I want you to master it, master the urges, master your sexuality, and using this idea of sexual transmutation and fulfilling the urge in a more healthy, helpful, constructive way is going to be everything to you. So hopefully this helps you. Wanted to get you educated, wanted to pour into you, man, because I believe in you. I love you. I'm doing this because I think that the difference between where you are and where you want to be is all about what you know, the information that you have, and the actions that you take in order to walk that out fully. I love you so much, man. I believe in you to the nth degree, and I'm on your side cheering you on. I'll catch you in the next one. Hey, real quick, if you like that video that you just saw, or if you want to see even better videos than this in a series that I made called Annihilate Porn to help guys or girls like you quit porn, you can subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't forget any alerts, comment, like, all that jazz, and more importantly, check out the next video that's going to take you even further on the journey from where you are to where you want to be. I love you tons. I'll catch you in the next one.